You ever hear about someone learning something so fast or so well that it just seems impossible? Well, today we're diving into a method that can make that impossible feel, well, possible.
Okay, get this. There's a guy named Nigel Richards who memorized the entire French Scrabble dictionary. He then went on to win the World Championship, all without actually being able to hold a conversation in French. Wild, right?
Or how about Eric Barone? He had this dream of making his own video game, which became the smash hit Stardew Valley. To do it, he spent 5 years by himself teaching himself everything: programming, art, music, the whole shebang, and built it from scratch. And then there's Tristan de Montebello. He started out with pretty much zero public speaking experience. And just 7 months later, he was a finalist for the World Championship of Public Speaking. 7 months? It really does sound like some kind of magic trick, doesn't it? But it's not. It's a strategy. Which, of course, brings up the big question. How in the world is this possible? What these people tapped into is kind of like a learning superpower. But here's the exciting part. It's a superpower that anyone can develop. It's a very specific, almost aggressive way of learning that just cuts right through all the usual noise. But to really get why this is so powerful, we have to look at why most of us feel so, well, stuck when it comes to learning new things. If you've ever been frustrated by school or traditional classes, you are definitely not alone. This question really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? So much of our education feels completely disconnected from the real world. We're given all this knowledge that we can't seem to actually use. So here are a few of the biggest roadblocks. First, there's the transfer problem. What you learn in the classroom just doesn't seem to transfer to your actual job. Then, we tend to use really ineffective methods, like just rereading our notes because it feels easier than actually testing ourselves. And that old idea that school teaches you how to think, well, that's based on theories that were debunked almost 100 years ago. But maybe the biggest thing is the lack of control. Your learning path is usually decided by someone else, not by your own passions and goals. And this chart just lays it out so clearly. With traditional schooling, the pace is dictated, the teacher leads, and the focus is on general knowledge. Ultralearning flips that whole script. The pace is intense and it's self-directed. The direction is focused on a specific goal, and the focus is always on practical, direct skills you can actually use. So, what is this powerful alternative? It's called Ultralearning, and it's the thread that connects all those incredible stories we talked about at the beginning. Let's really look at this definition. It's a strategy for aggressive, self-directed learning. Now, aggressive just means you're not taking the easy way out. You're intentionally choosing the harder methods because they're the ones that actually work. And self-directed, that's the most important part. It means you are in the driver's seat. You decide what to learn, why you're learning it, and how you're going to get there. As the author Cal Newport says, it really is like a superpower. Think about it. In a world that's changing so fast, the ability to pick up hard skills quickly is what really gives you an edge. Okay, so you're probably thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Well, while the full method has 9 principles, we can boil it down into a really simple 3-step playbook to get you started. The playbook has 3 main phases. Step 1, draw your map, which is all about planning your attack. Step 2, do the real thing, where you learn by doing. And step 3, test and refine, where you're constantly improving. Let's break those down. First up, drawing your map. This is all about preparation. Before you even start learning, you do your research on how to learn the subject best. Think back to Nigel Richards. He didn't just grab a French dictionary. He analyzed the game of Scrabble to figure out the most efficient way to memorize word lists, not waste time on grammar he didn't need. It's about making a smart plan before you ever take that first step. Next is doing the real thing. I love this quote from Da Vinci because it's about directness. If you want to learn to code a game like Stardew Valley, you don't just read books about coding, you actually write code. This principle is all about practicing the skill you want to have directly in the kind of environment where you'll actually use it. And finally, test and refine. This is where you aggressively look for feedback, drill your weakest spots, and constantly test yourself. As the psychologist William James pointed out a long time ago, the effort of trying to pull information from your memory is a way more powerful learning tool than just passively reviewing it. Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's exactly how you find and fix the gaps in your knowledge. So how do we wrap all this up into something you can do right now? Because the goal isn't just to understand ultralearning, it's to actually become an ultralearner. And that all starts with launching your very first project. Seriously, take a second and think about it. What's that skill you've put on the back burner? That hobby you told yourself you're too busy for? That language you were convinced you just didn't have the knack for? Your first ultralearning project can be anything that genuinely excites you.
It could be finally becoming conversational in Spanish, learning how to paint, picking up the guitar, or even building your own app. The only real rule is that it has to be something that matters to you.
You know, the biggest obstacle for any of us is just getting started. It's so easy to put things off until tomorrow. But this simple quote reminds us that there's no such thing as the perfect time to start. The time is always right now.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Ultralearning gives you the map, but you're the one who has to take the first step. Your project starts the moment you decide it does. So the only question left is, what will you master first?